So with that, I think we can move on to our next item. So Rob, are you leading the next item?
So not necessarily the next item. We just have a brief few slides to kind of talk to the board in regards to some of the things that are happening internally within the district in regards to COVID-19 and how we're working to support our families and community. And with that, I believe I'm turning it over to Margaret. Margaret.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Here tonight to give a quick update. So first, I just want to start with return to learning. Super excited. Last week, during the last board meeting, there have been some requests around attendance and remote versus online. The specificity of that data is that over the last 2 weeks, we've been at about 25% remote, give or take 1%, and 74-ish% in person. And our attendance rate is extremely high. We only have about 0.2 students missing that we really essentially don't know if they are ill non-COVID. And part of our work has been to track those students down. So super excited. You can see all those masks, and underneath those masks there are smiling faces. So we can move to Rob Price, who's got some information with our COVID check update.
Margaret, thank you. Good evening, board members. Just a quick reminder, we have 3 testing sites. We have our Centaurus High School testing site that is available for staff, students, and the community. And then we've also got 2 mobile testing sites in the district that are at an individual school every day of the week. And those have been tremendously successful, as you can see on the slide. In the first 10 days that we had those stood up, we've performed over 1,200 saliva tests. And that has resulted in saving the cohort more than 30 classrooms. And that's through the use of those mobile testing sites. So results are usually turned around in 36 hours, or typically back in 36 hours, usually around 30 hours. Next slide. So this is just a representative statement that we're getting from a number of our principals and our teachers. Just the additional testing across the district really has increased the layer of safety with the additional capacity. So this was a quote from Principal Oswick out of Whittier Elementary. Next slide. And then this is a quote from one of our parents, and this is one of many quotes that we're receiving. And I just want to say, again, thanks to the board, thanks to Dr. Anderson for letting us put these forward. These mobile testing sites are district-led, whereas the Centaurus site is led by COVID Check Colorado. So with that, I will turn it back over to Margaret. Thank you.
All right, so I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to all of our teachers and staff. We really want to focus on how well our staff is doing with masking and distancing and the 15-minute rule. Because of all of this hard work, we've made a significant difference, and we've seen a decrease in the number of staff needing to quarantine when there's an in-school exposure. We know that targeted contact identification is definitely more difficult, and that especially at the elementary level, we've been able to utilize seating charts at the higher grades so that we are only removing small groups of children when we have to. And actually our numbers are pretty exciting. So at the secondary level, the staff has been great in providing those seating charts and maintaining the distance of students. And we've had no staff quarantines and an average of 5 students. That's 1/3 the number of staff per exposure before the winter break. That's really incredible, and it's because of everybody's hard work getting us back to school and getting us staying in school. So just want to say thank you to all of you for that. Next slide. I think one of the things that's important to think about is our current situation. We're obviously celebrating the fact that we can have our students back in school and that we have returned all form of in-person learning. We've got next week our preschools transitioning into the phase 4. And one of the things that we're trying to do is plan ahead as we've started through this entire process over the last year or so. We're working on our spring rites of passage, so things like prom and graduation and promotion ceremonies. And our health partners have been really helpful over the last couple of weeks, helping us even to the level of Valentine's Day coming up. But our graduation plans and our prom plans are well underway with our high schools. And then our catch-up plan. So not only what's happening now, but as we're moving forward 21 and 22. And I think it's important for the community and all to understand that really it's about currently in each building and in each classroom specific to our students, what are we doing now to make sure that our students are able to catch up and that we're gathering that data so that we know what we have to continue to leverage moving forward. What we're really excited about is that it's a 3-component program. So we're talking about now, we're talking about next year, and we're talking about beyond, because we know that a small gap is not going to be enough to really fill what we need to do moving forward. So we're just very conscientious around making sure that the plan is a comprehensive approach and really meets the needs of the individual students. Next slide. We do have a super exciting announcement. As we always try to bring information to the board and to our community through these updates, one of the things that we will be launching on February 1st is a high school support update. High school support day, I apologize. So starting February 1st, our high schools will be open on those Monday launch days. It'll be a half-day session, and it's specifically for finding a safe place for students to go. We'll have mental health support available, both virtually, which we've had since the beginning, and in person. What we would ask is that families make an appointment, and I'll give a little bit of information around that here in just a second. There will be supervision in the cafeteria or the library designated by the school. You will have had to fill out a health screener to make sure that you're eligible to come to school that day. And part of our information is to make sure that we have families understand that there won't be any transportation for this on Mondays at this point. We'll be providing snacks, but there won't be typical meals for students. It's really more of a drop-in opportunity for students who may need Wi-Fi or who may need just to be in a different learning space. And that each of our schools is developing a plan specific for their community. So as an example, some schools may have an AM session and other schools may have a PM session. We know that our teachers are doing the hard work of professional learning on Mondays, and we want to make sure that our students can, because they're going to school less days, just have an opportunity to check in on Monday, and we hope to expand that as we move forward over the next couple of weeks. So that's just our first launch there. It's also really exciting to share that, as many of you may know, we have our athletics and our activities program have launched, and we're in season B. And we want to make sure that I want to make sure that we're noticing the appreciation again for Boulder County and Broomfield County Health Departments. We could not do this. Our 6 high school athletic directors have been incredible to make this possible. Tonight's our first competition, and we have boys and girls basketball, wrestling, girls swimming, downhill, and Nordic skiing. Sorry. And all of these programs are aligned to the current health guidelines. Next slide. I'm trying to go slow and fast at the same time, so I apologize. All right, so one of the things that has come up tonight, and obviously over the last few months, as we've seen the mental health impacts for all of our students as well as our community and our adults. So I just want to take a few seconds to share. The student support team has been doing an incredible job. The team is out in buildings. They're connecting with kids and with families. We have partnerships that are moving forward. Somebody mentioned tonight Penn. We've got mental health partners that we're working with. Marcy, who was just on the call, works with us very closely as we continue to advance those partnerships for our students and those opportunities for support. Before I hand this over to Randy, I want to say that one of the things that we've been very proud of is our SEL support on Monday launch as much as possible, giving kids those coping skills, as we mentioned before, and trying to just make sure that staff and community understand how to ask those questions. What does that look like for students? As an example, we've launched our assist training again, which is support for students for individuals considering suicide or looking for options for support. So please know that those things are always consistently improving and that we're always looking for feedback. I'm going to hand it over to Randy because we're very excited about the second portion of this slide so that he can share the timeline and information forthcoming.
I appreciate that. As usual, our job in communication is really to try to make sure that we're highlighting and promoting the great work of our educators and our teams. And so we've been working closely with the student support services to really take the things that the counselors and the mental health advocates and all those folks that they have in their department and all the connective tissue to that, all the resources and the other supports that we have in place, and really make them more easy to find. We already have a place on our website that's perfect for this. It's to help our students. We have some resources that are in there, but our effort right now is to really to make sure that we have as much resource as we can built into that place to bring in even more stuff, things that we know are available and just haven't made it to the website yet. Look for ways that this information can be carried out to our schools. The new website really gives us some ability to ensure that this flows nicely into school websites so that you don't have to go to the district website, although that help for students will be on every page, is on every page currently. And again, as we really work to try to make this easier to navigate, one of the things that we're going to be trying to do is put ourselves in the shoes of our students and parents and try to make sure that when you walk in there that, while we will continue to have a lot of resources, that you're able to quickly organize that in ways that meet your needs, that if you're looking for something specifically, you can get to what you're looking for quickly. I mean, that's the key of what we're trying to do here. We've been doing for quite some time, stories and that kind of thing. We really want to make sure that people feel like they can find the things that they're looking for. And again, looking for ways that we can customize that for the school. Contacts for the people that, if you're on the district site, who do you contact in your school, making sure that they have an ability at that school level, then customize with the specific things that they're doing. And then we'll be launching all this out as part of a special spot next week. We'll have, again, some additional stories in regards to what all these folks do so that, again, people have a better idea of what a counselor can help them with, what a mental health advocate, all the additional supports that we have out there, really trying to encapsulate that and get that into people's consciousness by having it in their inbox right there in front of them. And I'll turn it back over to Margaret.
Awesome. Thank you, Randy. I want to take 2 seconds and just say that, we could talk about this for hours and hours, the level of work and certainly the support and collaboration that goes into all of this work that we've done. So I talk kind of fast and I'm trying to slam a bunch of information into just a few slides. And certainly our team works really hard to do this, but if there are any questions, obviously outside, certainly reach out to us. We're here to support and give information about all of these amazing things that are happening as we're moving forward, learning how to navigate this incredible situation. So on this slide, I just want to talk a little bit about our learning options for fall of 2021. So we've learned over time, obviously through all of this, that our teachers have done an amazing job trying to balance and navigate everything that we throw at them, right? So starting for next year, based on a lot of feedback, we will be offering our in-person learning, which is students coming in based on where we are in our system, whether that's hybrid or at home or in person, based on where we are in the scale and the phases from the health department, but essentially in-person learning. The second component is we know that there are a fair number of students who prefer online, but really want a synchronous experience. And we want to make sure that it's structured and that students have a learning environment that's similar to what they would experience in a traditional classroom, but for a variety of reasons would rather have that experience at home. We've moved that to a centralized location, and that system will be called Link. Now, the benefit is that we have an incredible online system through BU. So Link will be powered by our Boulder Universal. It is a new launch that centralizes, as I said, all of the learning environment for those families that want online learning in a synchronous experience. The students will still be connected to their home schools. And this is a K-8 model, K-5 model at this point with middle school in the K-8. Let me slow down again. That learning experience will be powered by Boulder BU, and the students will have the parents will have the opportunity to choose that as their learning environment while still connected to their home environment at school. So I can still be whatever mascot, which of course I can't think of one right now, and be connected to their school through communication. If they're involved in activities, if they want to be part of their school community, they can do that. And then, of course, we'll still have our traditional Boulder Universal model that provides the flexible learning so that students aren't tied into that daily synchronous classroom structure, but have the opportunity to connect when they need to, as well as do the asynchronous learning that we've all come to understand to be the original online system. So those deadlines, that communication is going out this evening, or tomorrow at the latest. And basically it lets parents know that those are the options so that we can continue to expand on what we've done over time. We also are excited to launch the PK option online as well, and there will be more information to come. PK has been communicating to their families already. So if you're a PK family, please make sure you connect with them if you're interested in that completely virtual experience for next year. And with that, the last slide, and we will open for questions. Let me just say one more thing. Thanks for pulling that up. Registration for the program, I was wondering where that went, is February 1st through the 10th for the BU link.
And I'll just chime in to say that we will be having that email go out tonight, so parents should see that soon.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much and for all this information. And I just want to point out one thing. If you think about all the new things that have been developed in the last almost 12 months, I think we started this whole thing on March 12th of last year. And you think that we have a new online model and we have new central hubs and we've come up with a whole new expertise on viruses. And we didn't hire any new district staff to do this. So and we didn't hire a lot of new teachers. So if you think about all the different jobs each of the members of our staff and each of our teachers and our paraeducators are doing now, it's pretty exhausting. It sounds exhausting to me. And I just want to thank everyone for the just intense work that's happening every day. It is mind-boggling. So with that, I also wanted to say I did get to go to a saliva testing site with some kids. I took them and it just took a second. It was great. We got our results back, I think, in 14 hours. So it was one of the fastest returns. We've done all sorts of tests around Boulder County. So it was great. All right, questions. Richard, do you want to start?
Yeah, just to echo what you just said, Tina. I think our staff really deserve a lot of accolades in terms of what they've been doing, and I truly appreciate what they've done, and I just want to thank you for that presentation. I don't have any questions.
Okay, Kathy?
Yeah, I don't have any questions either. I'm just, like you said, Tina, the fact that we're already trying to take lessons learned and apply them going forward, as you say, with no increase in staff is just awesome. So thank you for the presentation and for all your really wonderful thinking and support.
Donna?
Yep, just echoing all of that. Thank you for all of the staff, and I saw the big push on the website for hiring. So I'm sure there's a huge need. Thank you.
Kitty?
I don't have any questions. Just want to reiterate thanks that everyone else has already given.
Okay, Lisa?
I'll also reiterate all of that. And I do have a question, although I'm a little worried that Margaret, I'm worried you said this and I just missed it. So I'm so sorry, but my only defense is if I did, maybe someone watching did too. So if I was considering enrolling my kid in Link, I think I would have about 1 million questions that I wanted to get answered. And what are we doing? Are we doing Let's Talk? Do we have a Q&A website, or how can people get all this info quickly?
I can actually jump in there to that. Oh, sorry, Margaret.
That's okay. I was actually going to say, we're actually doing a whole communication plan, and I'll hand it over to Randy.
Yeah, every time we have one of these big deals, we want to make sure that people are aware. So again, we're going to put out an email today. It's got a lot of Q&A in it because, again, exactly, we know that there's going to be a lot of questions. And then on Thursday at 5 o'clock, I think it's 5, pretty sure it's 5, we have a Let's Talk, and we will be welcoming questions. I believe that link is also an email for tonight, but we'll be posting it on social media as well. And then continuing to welcome folks' feedback and questions as we go as well. As we get into that registration period, we would expect some back and forth for sure.
Okay, thanks. Well, it all sounds super exciting, and I can't wait to tune in and have all my questions answered.
Okay, Stacy.
I echo what everyone has said. Thank you so much for all your hard work, and I don't have any questions either.